Hey. Thank you so much for coming back and joining me at the Learn Podcast Production podcast by 24 Sound. And of course, as you heard, that you did not hear wrong. The name Good or Bad Learn Podcast Production podcast is simply because it exists to help you learn podcast production. I know, it's complicated. But that is exactly what it's for. I'm just joking around there. I just want to say hi. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is a fun, for the next two shows, I'm really excited to bring you an interview I had with Mathiew of MattyPS, the YouTube channel, who's also, doing so many cool things and producing some very cool content, not only for guitars, but also he's a audio producer himself. So today we get to hear a little bit about audio production from the mind of a creator, and I think you're really going to enjoy that. The interesting piece about this is that he is, well, for one, he's from France, and so that's kind of fun. And then also just that he's trying to build a business online, like many of us, and he's trying to find out how to do more audio production, how to do more guitar teaching, how to take the skills that he has up to the next level. And he was just kind enough to talk with me about it, and so we kind of brainstormed together about how to do that better, and just it's about making money. So how to increase his business and make more money. So I think you're really going to enjoy this. Please join me for my conversation with Mathiew. Here we go. Mathiew, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm really grateful for your time and your attention today, and you've gone out of your way to help me, and I really do appreciate. So thank you, Tabby.
Well, I don't get to talk to people from France very often. I have some good friends in France, but they don't call me. So this is a pleasure, and it's fun to hear your accent again.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I could speak to you in French if you would like, but.
Yeah, well, your French is much better than your English is much better than my French. So you're the one taking the risk with language today. So that's pretty good.
I'm aware. Thank you. I'll just try to do my best and have a good articulation. I took actually a couple of classes to practice before having this interview today. So let's hope for the best.
Oh, you did? Well, that's even more impressive. Well, I speak a little Spanish. I lived in Mexico for a year and spent some other time down there. But I always tell people I speak it kind of like a 3-year-old. So you're still doing better than me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So we're on to talk about you and your business, and I'm excited about this. This is one of my personal passions. Mm-hmm. So I am honored that you were willing to jump on because I love building businesses, and I love seeing people who are skilled at audio make that profitable for them. Mm-hmm. And you reached out to me because you are skilled with audio, and so because of that we started talking about business. Mm-hmm. So that's our purpose today. We're talking about how to build your business and what steps you can take. So I wonder if you could just start by telling listeners where you're at, how, who you are, how you got started, what the podcast business looks like now for you. And we'll go from there.
Okay, so I'm Mathiew, and as you mentioned, I'm from France. And on the business side, I just got started really not long ago. I started 3 months ago, let's say. But so far, it's not profitable. I'm just trying things and learning a lot, how to actually fill my website, which I just created. And my project in the long term is to kind of like your podcast, which is a podcast to help people get started. So from my perspective, I'm a guitar player, I'm a musician, and I'm entirely self-taught. And it took me years and years to practice, of trial and error, to learn how to play the instrument correctly. And nowadays with the internet, it's really, really easy to find information, but it's even more so easy to get lost in all the information that is available. So my aim is to create lessons for beginners who are just starting out, just like me, like I was like 8 years ago. And so I just want to help people out and give them some kind of path to follow so that they avoid the mistakes that I've made and don't reproduce my mistakes.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. What can I ask? What are just a couple of mistakes you feel like you made?
Actually, in as a musician, you really have to train your ears, and that's the most important part. No matter which instrument you're playing, it's essential to develop your ears because that's the best skill you have to develop. And nowadays, I don't know if you're aware about that, but to play the guitar, you don't have to know any theory. There's a wonderful tool available which is called a tab. So basically, it transcripts all the notes into numbers. And people just like me rely on those tabs. And we don't use our ears to play songs and transcript them, but we use tools that are really available on the internet, and therefore we just accept what we're given and we don't practice with our ears, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm a guitar player myself. In fact, I think a lot of people understand where you're coming from. A lot of audio guys get started in doing their own band or playing guitar, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, you're talking to quite a few people there.
Yeah.
So you feel like the problem is because it's so easy to just do tabs, or it's so easy that possibly it's easy not to develop your hearing, your ear.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think people get started with the guitar, but they don't really know what they want. And when I started, I just wanted to have fun. But then in the end, what matters is to express yourself, to say something to people through your music, whether that's like a jazz music or rock music or pop music. But then you have to learn all the tools you need, because there's so much you can do with the guitar, well, with music in general. So. And of course, I mean, it's great to be versatile and to learn from all the different styles. But I think you should focus first on expressing yourself and not be afraid of being heard and make mistakes, I think.
Well, this is good. I'm getting a lesson in guitar. That's so. Out of curiosity, and this is slightly off track, but I want to know, like, where did that? Where has music taken you so far?
You mean professionally or personally?
Yeah, well, probably professionally. Do you have CDs? Have you been in a band? What? I don't know. Yeah. How serious have you gotten about that?
Okay, so I've gotten really serious personally, but in terms of on the professional side, unfortunately, so far it's still starting out. It's still the beginning of the road. But a few weeks ago, I posted an announcement online to reach to people, and I offered my services, and I made an announcement and saying I could give lessons to beginners. And yeah, I started to give my first lessons to people at home in my place, and that was very exciting to be on the other side, because at first, this time I'm not the one who's starting out, but I'm the one helping, so I know what they're going they're going through. So I'm just excited to help them so that they don't make the same mistakes. And that's it. And then I've already recorded and published some music, but I'm still having trouble with the marketing side. So even if some of my music is available, there's still not a big audience. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. All right. Which is very cool. That's fun. That's really fun to give lessons. So congrats on that. That's where it starts, from the guys I've seen doing it. So that's good.
Yeah, I really love helping actually, because it makes me, I don't know, have that special feeling whenever I'm done with a lesson. I just feel excited and like I've done something meaningful today. I love it.
Yeah, that's cool. And so you're in a similar place with your audio and your audio company. And so where is you said the podcast business is 3 months old, right? Did I hear you right?
Yeah, you heard me perfectly right. But it's not exactly a podcast business. Well, so far it's some kind of blog, and there are only articles available so far, and I am in the future to post more video lessons and yeah, podcasts. But so far it's only some kind of blog because the content is just new so far.
Okay, and the ultimate goal is, you said you wanted to help people with their podcast businesses, correct? Or are you more aiming towards helping people who have podcasts and doing audio production for those people?
I think we have a misunderstanding here with the business side, because I'm in my what I created the website. In the end, yes, I aim to offer lessons and help people voice out their expression through music. So I don't mean to help people and create so that they create their podcast, but so that they become better musicians.
Okay, so I was thinking you had two separate things going. So you're saying that the guitar and the music is all wrapped up in the same audio. What am I saying? It's all the same business. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, in the end, everything is related, because you have to record yourself. So you could be a great musician, but you have to learn how to use the proper tools to record yourself. So in the end, it's all related. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So you want to teach people how to train their ear so they're better musicians, and so that they can do better audio recordings as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I may take a while, but I'll finally get there.
It's all right.
Okay. So you're 3 months in and you started a blog, and your goal is to do teaching with a blog. How much do you want to do as a service business? As in, do you at all want to be doing the audio for people, or even doing music for other people as a service instead of teaching them? Does that make sense? The two sides of that?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, if I get you here, I would love to do the sound for them, meaning that they could, for example, send me their music, and I would be the one mixing or mastering, for that matter. And is this what you're saying?
Okay, so you'd like to mix for people, something probably that they recorded, and then they send it to you to mix it.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Actually, I'm open to any kind of services related to audio production, because it's all fun, and if I can help, then I would do it.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's get into that, because I think that's the different sides of audio production is probably something that we need to focus on today. So as we build that, what do you think you're good at with audio production, and what areas have you used those giftings in?
Okay. So I think I've gotten really good at listening and listening to things in harmony, because let me explain what I mean. For example, if you're a guitar player and you have a mix, well, you're going to tend to focus on listening to the guitar only. But in music, that's not how it works. So you really have to focus on making the whole thing sounding with harmony. Let's say you have a piano, you have a flute, you have a sweet bass. You have to be you have to put everything into a good harmony. So I think I'm really good at listening and adjusting each element to the right proportion, if that makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Could you please repeat me the second part of the question?
Yeah. Where, since you said, so you're good at listening for mix, where have you, like, what's your experience in that? Where have you used that?
Okay. So far I've built experience mainly in music. So I've done a lot of cover songs at first, because I run a YouTube channel and I've been doing a lot of covers. But then that's when it started. I started making compositions on my own, so I had to mix everything on my own, record the instruments, and use some VSTs to play instruments that I don't have, to put it all together. So I would mix my own songs, and then I did some collaborations with international people. So we would gather on social media and agree on songs to play, and we would all send to each other our tracks, and then we would mix it together to have a final product, and that's where I'm at.
That's incredible. That's really cool. Okay, so you're doing songs with people all around the world.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's really great.
Okay. And so in the middle of that, you're also you're looking to build the mixing side of that business. And as I understand it, one of the things that you looked at was podcasting, but that's just one piece of it. Most of it has been music so far.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Most of it has been music so far, but it's exciting to work and edit podcasts, because it's not exactly the same, but the purpose is the same. You have a podcast and you want to express something out of it, so you're gonna focus on making it sound a certain way, and you're using the same tools. So it's exciting too.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Okay, so and I like that. I like that analogy of using, your ear for music is also the ear for spoken word. It's still the same.
Yeah, sure.
You still need that same intelligence. So with the music, have you made any money with that, or do you have any connections with people who have asked you to make money? Is there been profit in there somewhere?
Okay, there's been profit, but barely any profit. So we could say that I've done it all for free so far. And I made most of my money through teaching so far. So yeah, the music business is hard nowadays, especially when you're putting yourself out there online. There's a lot of competition. So we could say that I've done it all for free so far, unfortunately.
That's okay. See, I'd done plenty of audio with my own band when I just out of high school, right? Doing audio with bands, and I had moved, and I knew I wanted to change careers, and audio was something I was considering. So I called up a local company, and did a job for free for them. And I actually did that strategy twice. I'd also made another move and again did the free work when I was able to get in with people. I did the work for free, and then they were able to understand how skilled I was, and then we were able to move forward.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's free, but not exactly in terms of the values you get out of it, right? I mean, you're building connections, you're building experience, and it has a value, doesn't it?
It definitely has value. Yeah. There's always the danger. It feels like, well, people will always only value me for free. But the more skill you get. So the people that you're doing this for free, do you see financial opportunities with those people or those industries, or do you feel like they're just experience and you could use that experience towards another, maybe somewhere else where they might be able to pay?
I think those connections are only for experience so far, because there are people who are passionate about music, obviously, but they're doing it just for a hobby on top of a normal job. So they don't aim to be in the music professionally. So I'm just getting some experience there. So I'm using this to build experience and hopefully to meet other people in the future to build more connections and make money from it.
Yeah. Okay. So back to the blog, and I'm just gonna keep asking around at different things until we find something. So at the blog, how much? Because you're doing blogging and you're doing video trainings already, and you also have people live in your own home training them on guitar. How much growth has the blog had so far?
Okay, so the blog is starting out, and I created. I'm getting started with social media because I've always been a bit reluctant to it, but I understand now that I've created my website, my blog, that it is essential. So I'm creating connections on Facebook, but it's still it's having a hard time to grow, let's say. So I don't have so many views, maybe several dozen views every week, but it's nothing crazy really so far.
Okay, well, which is just fine. And I'm assuming that your Facebook views and your YouTube, do you have something that points people back to your website?
Yeah, exactly. So actually my YouTube channel is where I have the more significant traffic, over 1,700 subscribers, and that's where I aim to get the most traffic, right? So I post on my video the links towards my Twitter account, my Facebook account, and my blog. And even some time ago, I made a video where I would talk directly to the camera to my followers to tell them about my blog and my project to give lessons in the future. So that's why I aim to make most of my traffic so far.
Perfect. Okay, great. That's really good. And so and congrats. That's a great following.
Thank you.
Yeah. So on the YouTube channel, you said you're mentioning posts and you're offering training. Has anybody taken you up from, like, what have you received? Have you been able to train people for money from that YouTube channel?
As I mentioned before, I've only been able to train people live in my house, because the video I made on YouTube was to offer Skype lessons, lessons via the internet so that I can reach more people throughout the world. And no, so far I've only gotten congratulations messages to try out and get out there. But no, so far I've only reached people in my home through a website on which I would post announcements.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just wanting to make an analogy. Like I would be maybe in a cave where there's not many people passing by, and I need like to put the lights on my business, you know?
I understand that. Yeah. You and the rest of us would like more lights on our business, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you're doing great. I mean, this is super successful. You may feel like you have to keep telling me that, that one thing or the other is not as successful as you would like, but but that is
that's okay.
That's not true. You're doing great, and you're focusing on the right things. And most people get discouraged long before you have, and content marketing is the right way to go. So if it doesn't play out perfectly right now, you're new to it, right?
Yeah.
So just wait.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support here.
In fact, you and I talked about Podcast Motor. He was just on the podcast. Craig was.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that he mentioned for his business was he simply just, he started a content marketing thing 2 years ago, and it's playing out very well for him now, 2 years later, which is fairly short turnaround, but hard to wait that long.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to grow, and you want to either monetize what you're already doing. Yeah, it sounds like the one thing to start talking about is how to monetize what you're already doing. You got 17,000 people out. How do you get them into actual customers?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So the first question is: are you building an email list from the YouTube subscribers? Do you have them on a list?
Am I building an email list thanks to YouTube? Are you asking?
Correct. That's just your biggest audience. So are you? From what I hear, it's your biggest audience. So are you able to get them on an email list? And we're gonna stop right there. Sorry. Hey, this is obviously a 2-part podcast, and we're coming back next week with the final round. I really like both sides of this conversation, but the next week, I feel like we really got into some cool strategies and ideas that Mathiew was able to grab and take away from. So I don't know. You can pick your favorite side, but this is just what was pretty cool, and I hope it was useful for you. You know, that's the goal here. I feel like as you're building businesses, of course, you need the audio techniques, but every once in a while, it's real nice to get into some business things because, for goodness sakes, you got to make money. You got to make a business. You got to feed your family. You got to not be working 24 hours a day. You know, you got to survive. So that's what this conversation is about, and I hope you enjoyed it so far. So, hey, I have Mathew's email in the show notes. He has all his contact info. And then, so if you need to reach out to him, please do that. And please join us for the second part next week. Otherwise, goodness, I mean, hit me up if you have any questions. I'm at 24 Sound, all spelled out, all one word, on Twitter. Or you can just find me at the website, TWENTYFOURSOUND.com. Hit the contact form or something and let me know. So otherwise, hey, I really appreciate you, and go out and make the world sound great.